Hello, welcome, beautiful, beloved souls. Today I'm going to read from my own book called Mystic Patterns Bridging Investigations and Intuition in Unexplained 411 Disappearances. And I've just randomly chosen, and the light's pretty bad, so let's get on with it. On page 57, I've said element missing 411 often have a dog with them, and said dog is found without owner. This, to me, is the biggest puzzle. A UFO was seen carrying a deer. Refer to David Paulides. I would think an alien would be interested in all Earth life. So, if a human with their dog is abducted, why is the dog not taken? If a human steps into a portal, why doesn't the dog go too? If the human is injured, why doesn't the dog stay? Dogs are very loyal. They usually do stay with their master. So what is going on? Often children go missing with their dog, and the dog will return without the child. I can understand that. In my experience, young children can be perceived as a nuisance. They pull the dog's tail, etc. But even so, most dogs would protect that child. Sometimes, when in any case, adult or child, the dog returns without its companion. The search and rescue team have tried to use the dog to find the missing individual without success. If this is an abduction either by aliens, fae, or cryptids, are they not just as interested in the dog? So I'll ask ChatGPT to speculate. Often in missing 411, there is a dog involved, either person with the dog or child chasing after the dog, and the dog is found, but the person gone. Dogs are loyal. So, chat, what is happening here? ChatGPT said, the involvement of dogs in many missing 411 cases is indeed intriguing and raises several questions. Dogs are known for their loyalty and protective instincts. So when a dog is found unharmed while the person they were with disappears, it adds another layer of mystery to these cases. Let's explore some possibilities. Number one, dogs as distraction or bait. Chasing after dog. In cases where a child chases after a dog and then gone missing, the dog may have been lured or driven by some unseen force or entity. The child, being naturally curious and trusting, might follow without hesitation. If this entity is something like the Fae or a cryptid with abilities to manipulate or distract, they could use the dog could be used as a decoy to lead the child into a vulnerable situation. Distraction. For adults, the dogs might be distracted by something, perhaps a sound, scent, or even the presence of an entity. While the dog investigates or gets temporarily separated from its owner, the person could be taken quickly and silently by whatever is responsible. The dog, confused or unable to comprehend what just happened, might return to the last known location of its owner, but be unable to help. Let's look at the second possibility. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm just going to look, there's 4 possibilities, but let's look at the second. Dogs being spared or excluded. Cryptid or supernatural influence. If a cryptid or supernatural entity is responsible for the disappearance, it might have the ability to manipulate or neutralize the dog without harming it. For example, some theories suggest that certain cryptids or entities might have a calming or pacifying influence on animals, making the dog unable to respond proactively. Alternatively, the entity might simply have no interest in the dog and see it as irrelevant to the goal of taking the human. Fae enchantment. In the case of Fae, they might deliberately leave the dog behind, either as a way to cover their tracks or because they have no use for the animal. The dog, left in a daze or under some form of enchantment, might be unable to recall or react what happened to its owner. Number 3, environmental factors, natural hazards. It's possible that in some cases, natural hazards play a role. The dog might sense danger and run back to safety, leaving the human to face whatever threat was present. For example, if a person fell or was caught in some natural trap, like quicksand or a hidden crevice, the dog might instinctively flee, especially if it couldn't help. Number 4, dogs' perception of supernatural or cryptid presence. Sensing danger. Dogs have heightened senses compared to humans. If a cryptid or supernatural entity is involved, the dog might sense its presence before the human does. The dog might bark, growl, or try to warn the person. But if the entity is powerful enough, it might quietly silence or distract the dog, leaving the human vulnerable. Fear or confusion. In some instances, the dog might be too scared or confused to react properly. If this entity has a terrifying or disorientating presence, the dog might not know how to respond and might freeze, run away, or become disorientated. Number 5, survival instincts, returning to familiar territory. After the person goes missing, the dog might return to a familiar area, such as their home or campsite, out of survival instinct. This could explain why dogs are often found unharmed after their owner disappears. They simply went back to a place they felt safe. And I have a conclusion that you're going to have to buy my book to find the conclusion to that. Now, a cheaper alternative to all my books are an ebook. And I do have a second missing 411 book. Off the top of my head, I can't recall its title, but I'll put it in the description. Thanks for watching. Please be kind to each other and to yourselves. Love, light, and blessings. Bye.